Good afternoon. So I thought I would make a little video. I am changing out a set of 6 drums that are here. I've already taken off all the others except for this one, so basically the process is the same. But I thought you might enjoy watching how I'm going to convert this set of tenors from 6 drums to 5. And so the very first thing, I really love this really cool drum key, and it's got extra long kind of legs on it, so you get a little more torque. The other thing that you need, I like a socket. Got to get the right size, of course. And so the very first thing that you'll do is go around each drum, and my kitty cat is here with me, supervising somewhere. And you're just going to kind of go around, loosen, and take off the entire head. It's the very first step. And the reason I'm converting from 6 drums to 5 is normally I play on a set of 6, and there's 2 drums here in the middle, a 6-inch and an 8-inch. But when you go to a set of quints, there's 5 drums. These 4 remain the same. And then there's, instead of 2 drums here, there's one in the center. And in a moment, you'll see why I needed to buy a new plate or frame, because this one has a cutout, one for the 6 and one for the 8. And, they just kind of sit in here. You can't really just move the one over into the center. It's just not configured that way. These are Dynasty drums. I don't know if some of the other brands make it a little easier to convert, but whatever the case, I'm playing with a group right now that calls for 5 drums, and I don't want to practice constantly on a set with 6 because it's going to mess me up every time I go to hit that center drum and I'm kind of hitting in between. So I want to practice the way that I'm going to perform. So I bought a set of these rails, and they just arrived today. So I thought, hey, this might be an interesting time to make a video. Once I kind of get these lugs loose, I kind of can just use my fingers here. This will be a good chance for me to take everything apart here, dust things off. These drums are in great shape, but just to kind of spruce them up, this is a little stick bag that I'm taking off. All right, so I'm just going to kind of get all of these loose, and maybe I'll take some additional photos to kind of show you from the top what this looks like. It'll make more sense. So it's kind of a big project. It's going to take me a little while here to take everything apart, put everything back together. I was practicing. I had a towel here, and I just put a random drum in between and was using that, but it doesn't have the right pitch. It's not the right size, so I invested in some new rails. Once you take this head off, you'll notice, or you may not be able to see inside here, but you can see that the drum is actually attached 4 separate little attachments to the frame itself. So that's when I'm going to use my little socket set. Hopefully you can see some of this. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen all of these as well. I like to keep all my hardware organized, so I'm going to put everything, even though it doesn't really matter, from one drum to the next. If it came off this drum, it's going back on this drum. And get all 4 of these loose. And then we will put the new rails on and attach all the other drums and have a set of quints instead of a set of 6-packs. If I just left it like this, it would be a set of quads. Some schools, some units play with quads. Some play with quints. Some play with 6-packs. It just depends. But this will have the ability to go from a 6 to a 5 and a 5 to a 6, although it takes time. You don't want to just be willy-nilly doing it all the time. So at least through July, until after the performance, I'm going to keep it as a set of quints. I just want to make sure the drum doesn't fall off, get injured. You can kind of see what's coming off here. These little guys. It's nice to have a socket set. It's always important to have tools that fit. You're not stripping things and forcing things. If you're struggling, something's not right. the drum's starting to get pretty loose here. Got this last one close. So close. Still not quite there. Usually at this point you can get it off with your finger, but sometimes the other thing I do is take the socket off and just put the little attachment on and just use my fingers that way. That sometimes works. It's because I'm trying to get a good angle for the camera that I'm struggling a little bit. Otherwise I would be standing over there. Okay, so the drum has come off. You can see this is a super beautiful drum. Dynasty. All right. And what I may do is bring this over just so you can see this frame. So you can kind of see this frame. This is where the drums, these two were for this drum, these two were this drum. You can kind of see how this frame is configured. You can see kind of a cutout here and a cutout here. In a minute, kind of show you my new ones, and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, so next I am going to use basically a wrench. This is the size that fits. Righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. It's always good to remember that little ditty. So I'm just going to loosen this top rail. And when I ordered this, I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought it was going to be in a big box, but basically it's just this little plate. These plates are $60 each, and I needed 2. But hey, it's a lot better than buying a whole new set of quints. Okay, I think. Not sure how this is going to come undone. Looks like this is how the top rail is going to come undone. And where else? It's attached over here. The rest of the stand we'll use just like it is. When I purchased these drums quite a few years ago now, they were already attached. So this is my first time actually taking this all apart. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so seems like the top rails should be almost loose, I think. Next, we'll have to take apart the bottom one. And then I think the whole thing should be free. That's what it looks like. Might have to get a little upside down here. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop the video for a second and I'll turn this upside down. Okay, so I was able to just basically flip this up from where it was to right here. And it looks like I can just do the same thing on the bottom that I did on the top. Let's see, lefty, loosey. Keep these kind of together. Yeah, I'll go fetch that. All right, so that seems to be loose, and that seems to be loose. That is it. Wow, thought it was gonna be a little more complicated. Oh, I think I spoke too soon. Yes, not quite done. See you back in a second. Okay, so you can see that's kind of like sandwiched. And so I want to take this top plate off and this bottom plate off, but this center stuff I need to keep. So each one of these needs to be undone. So I'll see you back in a minute when I have removed all of these and I've put in the new plate on the top and the bottom, and then we'll do everything in reverse. And to show you what's going to go on here, you can kind of see this. This is a little more glossy black. It's not the matte finish. And you can see what's going to happen. It's got the one cutout instead of the two. So this will be like this, and the one drum will be in the center, whereas that one had two cutouts. Hopefully that makes sense. See you in a little bit.